was had a big round, but Penn State able to regain the lead, and the Nittany Lions a chance to add to that now with Ed Ruth. You see Ruth on the mat wrestling a Big Ten rival and Nick Heflin of Ohio State.
You know, I had a little opportunity to talk to Ed Ruth in the on Wednesday, and first of all, I gave him a hard time about his hair. He dyed in the Big Tens. He had his hair dyed half kind of a bronze colored. And this weekend he went to green. I says, "What's that about?" And he goes, "St. Patrick's Day, celebrating." So gets a nice little takedown there. But he was talking about how a lot of guys are not wrestling him. He says he wants a match where somebody will step up and challenge him and just really physically go at it. And the guy he mentioned specifically was Heflin from Ohio State, that this guy would go with him the whole match, and he was actually looking forward to that. So we'll see how that develops. But I like what I hear when I hear a guy like Ed Ruth say, "Hey, I'm not looking for guys to lay down. I'm looking for the challenge," and he's getting up for it.
Ruth has secured an early takedown in his match. It's a 2-0 lead, and that has been the only offense so far. Ryan DeRoche of Cal Poly. It's a Pac-12 showdown with DeRoche and Amachustegi of Stanford. Storley and Lofthouse from the Big Ten, and Blanton and Perry. Big Ten meets the Big 12.
Well, this matchup between Storley and Lofthouse, Iowa and Minnesota, 3 times these guys have met here earlier. The last one was in sudden victory where Storley won. Storley's also won a 5-3 decision, and Lofthouse has won a 4-3 decision. So this is the 4th time that these two guys have met. The last one was in sudden victory. And I saw the match, and actually Lofthouse was winning the match with riding time and an escape. So he's up 2-0, gave up a reversal with 6 seconds left, and the match goes into overtime, and he gets a takedown and back points to make that a 6-2 sudden victory win.
So with Ruth wrestling for Penn State, Lofthouse representing Iowa, we begin this round with Penn State leading by 5.5 points over the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, then the other wild card in this match, the other undefeated wrestler we haven't talked much about is Chris Perry going against Jordan Blanton. Blanton, an All-American. A few years back, Perry was up at 184 last year, so he's dropped down the weight into this weight class and achieved the number 2 seed by being the Big 12 champion, was undefeated. And a lot of people kind of felt that Amachustegi, last year's finalist, undefeated this year, kind of took it on the chin as far as the seedings went because he had beaten Ruth last year in what was a dominating performance. And I think it was in the quarterfinals last year and ended up going all the way to the semifinals. So he got the number 3 seed. But all 3 of these wrestlers, very quality. Perry, all 3 of the undefeated wrestlers, real quality. And then a couple guys that this 4-5 matchup is going to be interesting. But not a lot of scoring in that match with Storley and Lofthouse. A lot of familiarity. Storley is a junior Hodge winner, signifying the outstanding high school wrestler of last year. And, again, real tough in the top position. Lofthouse doing some hand fighting here. And the last match, I think Storley kind of let Lofthouse go a little bit early, and he's going to make a little bit better effort to stay with him this time.
First period comes to an end in the Pac-12 showdown. Amachustegi with a 2-1 lead over Ryan DeRoche of Cal Poly, the senior, 26-3. 2 of those 3 losses to the hands of the Stanford wrestler, a 5-4 decision and an 8-0 major decision loss for DeRoche.
Hand fighting here by Lofthouse. He's able to get the escape, so he'll jump out to a 1-0 lead.
Heflin and Ruth are tied up at 3, a minute 10 to go in the second period.
Well,
see Ruth into the tripod position, and the official will restart in the middle. I think Ruth's getting what he was hoping for, Jim, from Heflin.
Well, yeah, you knew that Heflin was going to show up, and he moves well, all right? So you think you're going to battle with him, and you can't go straight on with a guy like Heflin because he'll do just that. He'll hit that little counter shot. But Ruth, boy, I tell you, just when you think you're going to get a corner on him, he just drops his hips and drives into you, gets the corner, and gets the 2-point takedown. So
Chris Perry, the unbeaten wrestler from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Oklahoma State leading 1-0 on Jordan Blanton of Illinois. Perry, the two-time Big 12 champion, two-time qualifier. He was a quarterfinalist last year.
And Perry is a good rider in the top position. He'll work a lot of legs, head and arms. Younger brother of the two-time national champion, Mark Perry Jr. And Mark Perry Jr. was very flexible, and he's the nephew of John Smith.
Jim, when John Smith described Perry and his transformation this year, he talked about his ability to chain wrestle. His transitional wrestling has been the biggest thing for Perry as far as his development this season.
Yeah, I think that's what he'd like to go, like he would like to see a little bit more of right now, is a little bit more chain wrestling, because that's the only way you're going to take down somebody like Blanton, because he's a big square stance, stand in the middle of the railroad tracks guy here, try to beat me, try to take me down,
And by chain wrestling, we mean stringing together 1, 2, 3 different type combinations.
Yeah, and sometimes that's as simple as my best setup for my double leg is my second double leg. Boy, Ed Ruth really pouring it on Heflin right now. I mean, he's ready for this match. Running back to the center of the mat, and you hear that Penn State crowd yelling Ruth. They really appreciate this guy. Really a likable personality. Love the way he wrestles.
Ruth has opened up a 6-point lead in the third period. Lofthouse and Storley are knotted up at 1. Storley able to get free for Minnesota. Perry on top, 1-0. Amachustegi with a 4-point lead for Stanford.
There's a reversal there by Blanton. Caught Perry a little bit high, and Perry's going to have to answer with a quick escape. Riding time is in favor of red, which is Blanton, so if he rides for another 50 seconds, he might be able to collect a point. Don't really see that happening right now, but Storley and Lofthouse, not a lot of action, a lot of familiarity.
Perry able to get free for Oklahoma State. Wrestlers dance out of bounds. 2-2, Blanton and Perry.
And just like Kyle Dake, just like Kellen Russell, you give Nick Amuchastegui the takedown, he's going to be able to put the leg on and really dominate you. Really tough with his top wrestling. And Blanton looks like he's got a little spring in his step here from Illinois. I think Chris Perry is yet to have a blemish on his record here, but the way they're wrestling, this could end up going to overtime. There's a takedown there by just right at the end. Logan Storley, last second takedown. Kind of a spoiler for that Iowa run that was going on, and two guys that he'll join Dylan Ness in the semifinals.
Storley wins for the Gophers. Now let's focus on Perry.